Alright, I guess I couldn't get that right. Let's get it right this time. So this is the name of this video is going to be called Why I Like Smoking Cannabis. Well, first of all, if I could take it a different way, I would. Um, I don't particularly live in a place where it's legal right now on the books just yet. They're not too intense, depending on what cop you ever have to deal with. They're not that intense about messing with you when it comes to ruining your life, unless you're a douchebag. But for the most part, the cops are pretty cool where I'm from. But it's not legal, so rather I would like to maybe have edibles or something of that nature. I don't really like smoking because I don't like inhaling heated plant matter. I haven't purchased a vaporizer because the one I'm going to purchase, if I ever do, is going to be about $500. If you're going to do it right. I didn't start smoking cannabis until I was in my 40s. 42, 43. That's when I started, really. 42 is when I started. Now, I've smoked in the past. So let me give you my history with cannabis. The first time I ever had cannabis was when I was 18. Was turning 18 very soon. It was just after I had graduated high school, and my mom had just passed away a month before I graduated high school. And at the time, I never really got along with my father, and so I was stuck living with him. I'm an adult in his eyes. He's raised, there's 5 others before me, and the closest one next to me is 10 years older. So by the time I got to be 18, he was really looking forward to it. And, mom passed away, and life threw us a curveball. A lot of things happened at that time. I mean, I was in a peak physical condition of my life. Best shape ever. Taekwondo, not really gymnastics, but taekwondo, bodybuilding in a big way. Definitely had my body weight under control. I trained like a gymnast because I thought, and I still feel to this day, I've never seen an out of shape gymnast. I mean, when these guys get up there, you hear that whistle? I hate that. When those guys got up there, they all looked like they were in pretty good shape, and they worked with their body weight. So I was in really good shape back then, and all that, and I was just training friends, training people since '86. And my mom died, and my mom passed away. I had my left. Okay, I just went on a fucking rant. So here we are. We're back to it. So after my mom passed away, my friend across the street, he always wanted me to smoke some weed with him, and I never did. I never wanted to. I never wanted to. And in the neighborhood I grew up in, I was kind of like the kid that I was was smaller than everybody else in a way, I guess. And by the time I started working out and getting bigger and looking great, I didn't want to touch any of that stuff. I was too focused. I was a warrior on my journey to be the best, get the best body I ever could at one time. So I call up Cusk. I call him up, and I said, dude, I want to do it. And he knew what was going on in my life and everything. He lived right across the street. So he came over right away. My dad was at work at the time. And he was about 3 years away from retiring, so he was almost 60. A year. No, that year he was retiring. He was 60, 61. So he was at work. And I was still living where I lived before he sold the house. He sold the house 2 months after my mom died, and then it changed everything too. That's another story. But we're smoking in my garage. And my dad's garage, and out. First of all, I know how to smoke. I smoked cigarettes here and there. I used to steal them from my mom all the time, but I never smoked as a smoker. You know what I mean? You know how that is. Just you're bored in a neighborhood with nothing to do. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have the internet back then. Your fun was walking around the neighborhood and hanging out with your friends. So that was it. And so we're walking around the neighborhood. It was a really nice. It was the middle of summer, so May, June. It was June, 1986. I'm walking around the neighborhood with my friend, I don't feel shit. I don't feel a fucking thing. So it's about an hour goes by, and we end up back at his place. And again, you know, my dad's at work. He had you know, he had gone to work. He's gone until 5, and it's still mid-afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And he started raking his front yard, and all I remember was I just started laughing, dude. I laughed my fucking ass off. I couldn't stop laughing. It wasn't like, oh my. It was great. It was a release. It was an emotional release. Cannabis helped release that emotion. Cannabis helped take that out of me and put it out there. I know this now. I didn't know this then. All I know is there was a flood of energy coming out of me, and it was coming out in laughter, which is what cannabis can do for you. And after about 10 minutes of doing that, I got really tired. So I decided, fuck it, I'm going to go home. And I went home, and my dad had made himself tuna casserole with the egg noodles, and I never ate that shit. I never ate that shit. When my dad would make that stuff, I wouldn't eat that shit. But that day, I opened the refrigerator as every teenager does. I looked under the bowl, under the cover, and I grabbed a fork just to test it. I just wanted to see what it tasted like. Just a little bit, you know? And I just kept eating, and I kept eating, and I wouldn't stop eating. Well, actually, what happened was it tasted really good. Each bite tasted good, and I never thought this would taste so good. I never ate this before. So half the damn thing's gone. I say, oh shit. I start mixing it up and spreading it out so my dad comes home. It wouldn't look like, you know, it would look like it was in there the way he left it. Long story short, obviously I fell asleep shortly after that, and my dad gets home from work later on that evening, and he says, who the hell ate my goddamn food? And it's just him and me now. It was about a week later after my mom, or 3 weeks later after my mom passed away. And I go, well, I don't eat that stuff. He didn't even think about it. He was like, oh, well, maybe it just disappeared or something. I don't know. That was pretty funny for me. You just had to be there. So that was my first time smoking marijuana. Now, I didn't touch it probably for another year or two after that. And each time I did, it was very early 20s, I really didn't have much control over my my expression. I didn't really have any control over how I was going to express myself to the world. Let alone those giggles when those things would happen. And they happened often. And that was my body's way of expressing. You know, when you're dealing with other energies too, it's a different experience. When you're alone, it's a different experience. You know, I'm an internet marketer. I'm a writer in a sense. I'm creative in a sense. I like to do what I do creatively. When I do use cannabis for that, it allows me to just turn off all the noise and come here. Another reason why I like cannabis is because of how it does release your energy. If I take breaks often, and as I age, like I'm 47 now, so as I age, I find myself appreciating it more, and I can see myself being a daily smoker in my age, in my 50s, 60s maybe, definitely, until the day I die, because it's such a good social, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a social examining tool. It allows you to examine yourself and everyone around you without judgment. If you can get to the point where, let's see if I can get my fucking hair fixed. Some fucked up hair. That's just a fucked up hairdo. Alright. Fuck it. If you can get yourself in a place where you can get past all the silliness, get past all the media drama for the last, how long? 1930s? Let's just say 1930. So what would that be? How many years would that be? 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000, 2010. So 84 years. The last 84 years, there has been this social conditioning plan of action called the war on drugs. It is probably the biggest fucking joke, because there can never be a war. It's like a war on fear. I'm declaring a war on fear, and anybody that displays fear will be killed. Or something stupid. I'm going to put you in a cage for displaying fear. A war on drugs is like a war on fear. It's not possible. So when we uncover the silliness of it all and realize that we're responsible for our own consciousness, our own well-being, our own fat ass, our own in-shape self, our own clear thinking, we're responsible for our own outbursts when they happen. And they happen. I have outbursts. But in that same vein, in that same moment, you can also have clarity. In that same moment, give yourself permission to just fuck up for a second. Take that same moment and fix it. Just in the moment. Don't let your ego carry it on. And cannabis allows me to see it that way. Isn't that an interesting perspective? A lot of my friends really appreciate how I articulate perspectives for them to kind of shift the way they're seeing things. We sometimes get stuck in what Elliot Hulse calls a neurotic holding pattern. And a neurotic holding pattern is that which does not serve you at all. And in order to break those patterns, we have to physically, mentally, emotionally, and with the proper tools. For example, protein powder after working out is great for rebuilding the muscle tissue, isn't it? Now, there's a lot of people are going to say that shit's bullshit, and there's going to be a lot of people that swear by it. Look at the results, I guess. Look at the results. And the results tell me, after looking everywhere, 0 deaths from cannabis. It's been on the planet for, I understand, thousands and thousands of years. Not hundreds, not 50 years, not the last couple hundred years. We're talking about the plants being here before anybody even decided to call this place what it's called. Wherever you live, Germany, England, France, Italy, Ireland, wherever the hell you live, Egypt, Pakistan, everybody, United States, everybody. All those places were named, and cannabis has been here way before even somebody came up with it. Okay, so it's been around for a while, and it's a very alien plant because it's like has 1,000 uses, from its stalk, hemp, to its CBD properties for helping little kids and seizures. I'm telling you that it's an alien plant, and everything it does is positive. And we're only scratching the surface because this is what we now know. If you don't know this, just don't look for your television set to tell you. Don't look for the radio to tell you. Don't look for anybody else to tell you anything. You can look it up yourself. Do the research with a filter. Your filter is non-judgment. Okay, we all have filters. We always filter everything. What does this mean to me? Some people are pessimistic, and they look at the filter through a filter of, you're out to fuck me over. Another people look through a filter of, how can I help you? Look through the filter of, I have no judgment on this. This is just data. And I'd suggest look at the Union. That's the first one. Obviously, the new one coming out, or it's out now, and I'm awaiting my DVD, is The Culture High. 7 years later, 8 years later, it's following up to the Union. If you don't know any of these movies, then you and I can't have a rational discussion about cannabis. I'm just making a video to tell you what I like about it. And what I like about it is that everywhere, anybody that I know who's got their mind right. So don't think that just because you smoke cannabis, everything's going to come together for you. It'll make the journey a lot easier. It's a lot easier. However, you have to do the work. You have to be willing to do the work, to put the right filter on. Try to use the tool, not just as a social lubricant, but as a means of getting data that you can use to better yourself, so you can put that better version of you back out there. And there's so many ways to become the best version of yourself. And exercise is a one. Definitely what you put in your body. Water, good food, definitely. Being cool to other people. For example, myself, every time I go shopping for food, if I see that cart thing all fucked up so nobody parks properly, or it just looks all fucked up and it's sideways and shit, I'll put the cart back, plus I'll pull that thing that holds all those carts out in the middle of the parking lot in a proper order, so that way a person can park behind them and it's in a good place. And I don't do it and go, goddamn kids don't do it. Fucking assholes, why don't you fucking put shit back the way it's supposed to be? I don't do that. I lovingly look for it's an opportunity for me at this very second to put this cart in and pull that bitch back in line. It takes me 10 seconds to do it. Yeah, it's their job. So what? It's that's a fucking shitty job. Right? Isn't it a fucking shitty job? Come on, it's a fucking shitty job. It's not like it's a career. It's a fucking shitty job because you got to bring money in the house. Stuff like that. Do little things like that. If you see something, pick it up, throw it away. It's okay for you to pick it up and throw it away. If I see something that don't look right, I'm going to fix it. I get up, I don't care who's in the room. We're in a waiting room or something for the dentist, and if I see something that's fucked up, or if I put something back, I usually straighten it back up even better than I found it. Okay, so this is me, and this is how I've been able to use the tool to help me become a better person. I'm not high right now. I'm not smoking weed right now. But when I do, it's not much of a difference here. The energy level is still the same, and my clarity is just the same. It's definitely clear. I'm learning how to articulate my words even better because I'm more of a writer than I am a speaker. And when I write, you can certainly see what it is that's going on because, I mean, when you're talking and when you're writing, you can take your time and erase shit and fix it. Same thing with video, I guess. But anyway, so what else do I like about cannabis? I like the fact that it unites a lot of people together in peace and harmony. And say what you will about who they are. Yeah, there's some boneheads. There's some ding-dongs that deatize the cannabis leaf. You know, they have the cannabis pictures everywhere, and cannabis this and cannabis that, and hemp this and hemp that, and everything. I don't like to put everything into a logo. You know, I hate the fact that we have a dollar sign and everything, and I'm kind of annoyed with all these logos, but we think better in pictures than we do in anything else. But to take that and to, unless you're going to build something that really gives to everybody around you in a way like you're either going to be solving a problem for somebody or sharing a vision with somebody, a clarity, or just developing a closer friendship to enjoy someone, then maybe the use of that cannabis logo makes sense. But to run around with, I don't know. I guess on Cannabis Day it would be a lot of fun to dress up and stuff. But other than that, I don't really see myself. But then again, I do it myself. Sometimes I go through these spurts of like Bill Hicks or Pink Floyd or the Red Hot Chili Peppers or George Carlin. Different artists that way. I many different YouTube personalities. Joe Rogan, Jason Silva, anything that Adam Scorgi comes out with. He's actually a really amazing producer and director and film creator. So, what else can I say about cannabis on this long 1 minute rant? It's not for everybody. It wasn't for me until I was in my 40s. Again, I tried it a couple times in my early 20s. I did not pick it back up again. I did have it one time with my wife when I was married, in the very beginning when my first child was like 1, in our apartment. And that wasn't cool because, again, I didn't have my head together. I haven't had opportunity to clear my mind, and I was very paranoid. So it just went to show you where my head was in that relationship. So, I can see this now. I mean, I can see it then. I see a lot of things clearer now than and I foresee things a lot better now than I ever did then. So I'll be honest with you, cannabis is great. All the other psychedelics I haven't really tried. Salvia divinorum once, a little jarring, but it was cool. One hit of acid, but I really didn't feel anything other than I felt cold and I put a sweater on. Nothing really major happened, no visuals really. But I haven't done any mushrooms. I haven't really done anything else that would allow me to say that I had a psychedelic experience. So am I moving in that direction? Absolutely I'm moving in that direction. And I'm approaching this journey with a sense of gratitude. Definitely want to get my energy where I'm wanting to get something positive out of it. And I want to also learn how to let go a little bit better. But I might not be ready for psychedelics to that extent just yet. Right now, cannabis is my tool of choice for keeping myself in a place of creativity, coolness, and likability. I guess I like myself. My kids like me. I get along with my ex-wife a lot better because I don't think that everybody's out to get me. Bitch, why is she calling? No, I'm not like that. But the anxiousness, and maybe that's my thing. Who knows? Maybe that's why I resonate with it at this age so well. But I'm 47, and I've been smoking cannabis now consistently for the last 4 years. And I have to say that if this was an experiment, it would certainly turn a lot of people on to the idea of just letting go of all the negative dogma that they created 84 years ago. Let go of all the propaganda, the boneheads that believed that all drugs are bad. Is heroin bad? Yeah, fucking heroin's bad. What are you, stupid? Would I ever do it? Absolutely, if there was a huge ball of fire headed towards Earth, and we knew for a fact that Earth is going to get fucking hit. We got like a day or 2 days or 5 days left to live or some shit, because I'd like to think we're going to get a little bit of a heads up. Yeah, man, I mean, I'd fucking try it that week. We're all going to die now. You might as well give that a shot. But that's it. I don't think I would ever do it otherwise. What the fuck would I do that for? It's a highly addictive drug. It'll totally fuck you up. My cousin, who's only 6 months older than me, just a few years ago died of heroin. I didn't even know he was doing it. I just didn't know. I stopped in a couple times. I think I was like 6 or 7 months earlier. I stopped in where he was working. I would have never known it. I mean, he used to run and operate for like 10 years or so a strip club in here. It was a pretty good one, and it was good. It was good. I don't care for objectifying women like that. I'm not into that. I never went there for that ever. That I could care less, but it was just seeing him, and man, that was a left hook. Caught me right in the eye. I never would have saw that coming, and so I mean, there's another justifiable reason why I can point and say, the universe is doing something here. Now, I knew all about ayahuasca, ibogaine, and DMT while he was alive and well and bouncing around a few times before I visited him and just stopped by to see him. I could never really hang with him that much. He was always working. But I wish I would have said something about my researching 4 or 5 years prior, you know what I mean? Or 3 years prior. It would have been really good. But that's just where we are. I mean, everything happens for a reason. And so heroin, hell no. Anything highly addictive like that. Like I said, LSD, acid, you better be smart. Don't be stupid. Don't go thinking you can just take it and go driving around. From what I understand, the best way to do it is in nature. I'm not an in nature kind of guy, although I do like going for walks. I don't go out in nature. Last time I did that with my son, I had a fucking tick on me. It pissed me off. And him too. It was fucking nuts. I'm like, what the hell? You can't even walk through grass without getting a fucking tick on you by the lake? I guess that's how it is. I wonder how many ticks I had on me when I was growing up. So anyway, what this is simply is me telling you, whoever is listening, that if you don't like cannabis because you're afraid of how it's going to change you, then stay away from it. You're not ready to change. You're not ready to do anything that will take you out of your illusion of control over your consciousness. But that's fine. Don't do it. But don't judge other people because they like to live their lives around it. I'm not going to sit here and judge people when they wear a pot leaf on their shirt daily. Hey, fuck it. You found your Jesus. You found what works. And you're happy about it and you want to let the world know. Fucking A. That's the way to be. As far as I'm concerned, I have no problem if my kids start smoking. I'd rather them suck a lollipop because, again, taking in heated plant matter isn't good at the level of which I like to do it. So a lollipop, a little tablet, THC tablets, they got those now, but nothing that, the government or a pharmaceutical company would ever produce. I don't want to take anything they have to offer me. If it grows out of the ground, it's awesome. If it's made in a laboratory, it sucks. That's just my opinion. But then again, I'm talking about LSD and DMT too. That's a completely different bag of worms. I don't even want to get into that. So anyway, this is a long-winded fucking conversation, but I am passionate about it. I do think that cannabis has a lot to offer. It dissolves boundaries. Meaning back in the frickin' old West in the 1200s, the Indians would have what they would call a meeting between shamans or between the tribe leaders. And these tribe leaders, no matter how stern they were about staying where they wanted to stay or do what they wanted to do, and they disagreed, they came together and they had a peace pipe session, and they would have a conversation over relaxing, letting yourselves go a little bit, and just talking like a couple of dudes. Just talking like a couple of fucking guys. Yeah, I shit. My wife hates it when I shit, and probably other Indian guys saying, yeah, you're married? I like fucking boys. Holy shit, that's trippy. You're not fucking me. And they probably laughed about it afterwards. Hopefully there was no Brokeback Mountain stuff, but hey, if that's what makes you happy, go ahead. I'm not doing it. So that's it. That's pretty much it. hey, if you're considering smoking cannabis, know what it is before you get into it. If you're considering doing it, I say wait till after you're, all the time. Wait till after at least 24. 22, 24. Now, and if you want to start younger, that's fine. But just realize that it is a self-limiting drug. I call it a drug, but it's self-limiting, meaning it will suggest to you when to stop using it. You have to listen to that. Let it go, let it be, get clean. Not clean, but center yourself, exercise, move around. Don't allow it to control you as far as eating goes, because food tastes really good, and I'm an eater. So that kind of stuff. Use the tool, get creative, and then share that the best you can. And then keep doing that until you get good at it, because you're going to suck at first. I know I do. All right, so that's it, man. I mean, what else can I tell you? Be smart with it. Don't get yourself in a situation where you're doing something illegal in public. Do it if it's a situation where the legalities are going to be a problem, then you need to find a place, a safe place, your home. Stay inside. Don't go running around with your fucking weed thinking you're cool, or walk around the neighborhood because you want to be fucking free and it's not legal in your fucking state yet. Don't be stupid. If it becomes legal, you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? I mean, but you have to listen to the... It's a fucked up law, yeah. Like I said, where I'm at, they're not major dicks about it, but at the same time, you have to respect the law. It's there for a reason, and you may not agree with it, but then do something positive to try and change it. You may not be able to do big things, but you can do little things. I invested a little bit in the Culture High when it was on Kickstarter for the pledge. I put in my little bit of money, and I got my name in the credits for doing so, plus I got a fucking DVD. It was the deal. If I had more money at the time, I'd have did more. But I did what I could. And because of that, I've solidified myself in history in a small way. I did, and it's not an ego thing. It's real. I was a part of making this happen. I put Scorgy together with Brian Rose, yeah. Brian Rose of London Real. I put those two in together via email. I didn't get acknowledged or anything for that. I wanted to, because that's what my ego wants. Hey, I'm human. But the fact of the matter is, Scorgy was cool. He actually said, yeah, man, you had a big hand in making that happen. So he told me, man to man. I thought that was cool. And I want to put this here in case my grandkids are fucking watching this 200 years from now. And, they want to know what's going on with Grandpa Manelli. Wow, that's trippy to say it like that. Grandpa Manelli. My kids are too young to have kids, so I can wait. That's it, man. I'm fucking done with this. If you're going to smoke, smoke. But be smart. Don't burn the fucking house down. Follow the laws that are in your state. And if you're going to do anything, do it in the privacy of your own home where you don't hurt nobody. Don't mix it with alcohol or any kind of other type of hallucinogens or something unless you're using it to navigate those hallucinogens. Great. If you're using it to just have a good time and get fucking stoned and be stupid, then you're a fucking idiot. Go have a beer. It's cheaper. It's probably smarter for you to learn the lesson. I don't know. That's kind of it's bad advice. I'm not telling you to go get a beer. Look, if you're going to use cannabis and be stupid about it, then don't use cannabis. But at the same time, if you're going to use cannabis and release some energy and use that stupidity to almost like a bioenergetic catharsis, say it with me, bioenergetic catharsis. In a sense, yeah, use it for that too. That's awesome. All right, man, this is it. This is long-winded. I'm way too close up down the beard now. And I'm going to let you guys go. Enjoy what you do. Be smart the way you do it. Peace.